now, please, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome our next presenter, Ortega-Verdaguer, the CEO of IntelVasc.
Imagine a world where cardiovascular disease is not the first cause of death worldwide. At IntelVasc, we are trying to do exactly this: remove cardiovascular mortality as the first position. The main cause of cardiovascular mortality is vascular occlusion. And when you have this vascular occlusion in the limbs, it's called peripheral arterial disease, one of the most lethal diseases worldwide. These patients have the chance to have up to 30% of mortality due to stroke, heart attack, or limb amputation. Scientific evidence clearly states that the earlier we catch this vascular occlusion, the higher are going to be the clinical outcomes and cheaper it's going to be the intervention. So this is one disease that affects over 33 million people in the US alone, and accounts to over 20 billion expenditure in healthcare every year. To tackle this problem, at IntelVasc, we have developed the world's first device that allows to track remotely these vascular occlusions from home, as most of these patients are asymptomatic, and the gold standard and the current patient journey, it's requiring the patient to come to the hospital, but it's unless you are there just when the vascular occlusion is going to happen, these patients are not detected on time. We have developed the world's first sensor that inserted without requirement of surgery during the outpatient setting, during a clinical checkup. It's inserted subcutaneously, and the doctor is going to provide the guidance to the patient, providing them this scanner. This scanner, the doctor is going to prescribe the frequency of the scans that the patient has to do it, once a day, once a week. And with this data, it's going to be sent to our cloud, where our machine learning algorithms are going to process this data in a single number of vascular occlusion. This is what the doctors are going to receive, a number of vascular occlusion that it's surpassed certain threshold, then the doctor is going to call in the patient to come to the hospital to get a proper checkup and doing an intervention if required. My name is Ortega-Verdaguer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder at IntelVasc. We are a company based in the Silicon Valley in San Francisco, and we have co-founded our company with a team of engineers with already experience in this ultrasonic technology, with surgeons and interventionalists and experienced medical device executives. Highlighting that we have with us Professor Frank Biff. It's one of the most renowned vascular surgeons worldwide, president of the BIF Symposium, where IntelVasc is going to be this November presenting for the first time 52 editions our technology prior human testing. We are co-developing the device with the support, with the signed contract we have with Mayo Clinic, and we have the support of Royal Philips, which their main strategy is to become the leader in remote monitoring for vascular interventions. The market is enormous. We have $9 billion in market potential, and we have patent with Wilson Sonsini a range of hardware that will allow us to progress as a company to tackle different indications, not only the peripheral arterial disease that I just introduced to you, but also preventing liver transplants, these patients to die, or even a military use. Our business model is selling the insertable sensor to hospitals, and also a $130 remote monitoring fee. And we have this milestones roadmap where we have already patented, as I mentioned, our hardware with Wilson Sonsini. We have the second version of the prototype, which we have tested in our labs and NCU state. And we are going to, now we are raising the seed round which Mayo Clinic has already invested, that it's going to allow us to do the animal lab testing, clinical trials, and posterior commercialization once we achieve the 510K from the FDA. Please join us in our journey to reduce cardiovascular mortality.
Thank you. Given the volume of the market and the total market size, why do you think taxpayers have to pay for an additional screening technology? Can you tell us about the cost savings and the health economics around it?
Yes, this is a very good question, and very important in both sides of the ocean. The cost economics that we have already worked in our analysis is if you detect vascular occlusions before, taxpayers are going to save many millions a year, because the later you detect a vascular occlusion, the more expensive it is to fix it. But also, if you have a limb amputation, there's a lot of costs associated. On top of that, patients with a limb amputation has 50% of chance of mortality after the first year of the amputation. So the earlier we can detect this problem, the cheaper. The same that with a car. If you keep the car to fix, at the end it's going to crash and you will have to buy a new one. In this case, it's a major economic problem that we can help to reduce the cost.
Can you talk about how you close the feedback loop? So I understand the monitoring, but what are the variations and combinations of actions that are done when a flag is raised that something's wrong with the patient?
How to close the first?
How to close the feedback loop. So you've set a flag, there's something wrong with the patient. What is the next step? Is the doctor phoning them? Do you have an algorithm that's telling them to take a medication?
Yes, thank you for the question. So the patient journey is once the patient and the doctor receive this alarm that the vascular occlusion is happening, then it's going to, the nurse, it's going to call him, because there are patients that are well known, they're going to call him, he's going to go to the hospital to follow the normal patient journey, which is a checkup with echo Doppler or an angiography, and if required, an intervention. So the hospitals are receiving the information to call in the patient, whilst today they cannot know it.
Can you help me understand a little bit better the technology? Like, what does the sensor measure? How many sensors are needed per patient or not? And, you know, like, also the scanner, like, help me understand a little bit more the technology, please.
The standard of care normally is an echo Doppler that you do once you are in the hospital. What we are offering is this 70 years experience technology. We have miniaturized it in a way that has never done, and it's going to be near the vessel that we know that is already sick, that is already diseased. So instead of discharging this patient and said, come back, because there is up to 65% of patients that are not coming back for a medical checkup, instead of asking them that, you are giving them this sensor near in the vicinity, let's say, peripheral arterial disease in the femoral artery. Our sensor is able to detect vessel occlusions 10 centimeters upstream, downstream, where the sensor positions is, and we send a phaser ray ultrasonic wave that then return back to the scanner. The scanner is sending this data to our cloud, where the machine learning algorithms are interpreting this data and transferring it to a percentage of vascular occlusion. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I know we have more questions, but we're out of time. We have 3 minutes. You're more than welcome to ask more questions, Andrew, after the competition.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
you,
Andrew.